Was very famous in this area for his lavish birthday party he threw himself at the end of every July. He invited his closest 1,500 friends, erected a huge tent on that site, and ended every one of his birthday parties with the best fireworks display I've ever seen. My favorite birthday party he threw himself was for his 66th birthday party. It was themed Route 66. The performer that night was Jay Leno, so if you know anything about Jay Leno, he's a pretty good car collector. So they combined their car collections, lined him up on the front lawn, and in the center of that lawn was a brand new red cherry Corvette. Now everyone thought it was a little weird as they were entering the party, they were being handed a key. But if your key started up that car that night, happy birthday to you, you got a free ride to take home.
But wait a minute, folks. Before we crash this party, let's go back to the beginning, where we take the U.S. Mailboat cruise in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Come along and join us. It's been doing tours since 1915. Hi everyone, Dave and Kathy Hyde. You can see it behind us, beautiful Geneva Lake. And we're here in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And if you see behind me, right off in the distance over there, the docks, we are going to take a very interesting cruise today. This is Geneva Lake. And we're going down here to take a boat cruise. This is an unusual boat cruise in that it not only takes you around and sees all the sights, but they also deliver the U.S. mail on the shores of Lake Geneva. You can see it's a very beautiful town. This is where we're going to go on our boat tour. You can see the people already lining up. They'll be boarding in about 15-20 minutes.
Orange Bravo. A lot of fun.
See the motor tipped up on that boat?
Yep.
That's blocking your view of the mailbox right now.
Okay. Now, this home, we are assuming, you're going to see this home next door. It's a very new home. It was built, completed about 3 years ago. So we're assuming these homeowners here, they're going to probably knock down the home and be able to build something new. So it looks like this home next door.
Skip that one. I'll give that thing a bump and see how it moves.
DJ, next one here.
Yeah, I'll do a bump shot.
There you go. So it's a little stretch there where we have 4 homes in a row that we usually do deliver to. You see that little lily pad back there got in the way of us delivering to one of those homes. They didn't have any mail today, so that's a good thing. An absolutely stunning example of Georgian architecture. It was known as Wadsworth Hall when completed in 1906 for Norman Wayne Harris of the Harris Trust and Savings Bank, today BMO Harris Bank. In 1920, it was purchased by Walden W. Shaw. He was one of the co-founders of the Yellow Taxi Cab Company. And then it stayed in his family for almost 80 years until 1999 when it was sold to an investment advisor named Richard Driehaus. Mr. Driehaus did a 16-month renovation of the property. As you can see, he painstakingly returned it to this home's glory. He sadly passed away this spring, but he was very famous in this area for his lavish birthday party he threw himself at the end of every July. He invited his closest 1,500 friends, erected a huge tent on that site, and ended every one of his birthday parties with the best fireworks display I've ever seen. My favorite birthday party he threw himself was for his 66th birthday party. It was themed Route 66. The performer that night was Jay Leno, so if you know anything about Jay Leno, he's a pretty good car collector. So they combined their car collections, lined them up on the front lawn, and in the center of that lawn was a brand new red Cherry Corvette. Now everyone thought it was a little weird. As they were entering the party, they were being handed a key. But if your key started up that car that night, happy birthday to you, you got a free ride to take home. Other performers there have been the Beach Boys, Martin Short, Frank Avalon, and then actually last year was Diana Ross. This home here is known as House in the Woods. It was the third and final home completed in 1906. It was completed for A.C. Bartlett. He was a wholesale and hardware distributor, founders of what is now True Value Hardware. One of the easier deliveries out here you guys are going to get to see.
We like doing that one because several times a year there'll be cookies and other treats out there.
It was an absolutely beautiful day out on Geneva Lake. There are 3 towns located on Geneva Lake. Here we're coming into Williams Bay.
So that other run, the jumpers refer to as the mini run or the little run. This one's just the run. And running the Case Park subdivision is a long tradition with the subdivision, I should say, is a long tradition with the jumpers, going back to a time when there were mailboxes all down the shore path here. Early in the season here, we have 2 deliveries that they're making in there, but it's too shallow for us to run the ends of the piers, especially when the lake is down a little like it is right now. So we'll be picking them up a ways down here. They have close to a half-mile run in here.
Taking a break. He's taking a break. He sat down. Get you a job delivering the mail here.
Yeah.
Just jump off the boat, run down the dock, and drop the mail off.
So it's
You like a new job?
It's like right at the level where you sit on. Yeah.
You said you have to try out for the here delivering the mail because it is so physically active. There's some kids up here waiting for the mail, and they give all the kids suckers that are waiting.
Oh.
So he's gonna hand them the mail and suckers.
As I indicated before, there are actually 3 towns on Geneva Lake. The first is Lake Geneva, which is the biggest. Then there's Williams Bay, which is a smaller town. And then there's Fontana, which is a smaller town. You're looking at it now. What you're going to see now is the most complex delivery of the tour. There isn't time to jump on and off the boat because of the mailbox location. AJ will put it in from the bow of the boat. To top it off, this is his first time.
Counting today, he's done this once.
First time ever. Let's see if he can keep up the mulligan.
Use the paper to open the mailbox.
Yeah, use the paper to
Slot
open
the box open. Throw it in, slot the box closed. Wait for it.
Go get closer.
Wait for it.
Right about there. You can see that's one of the harder ones out here just because of the skill, but it's also the skill of the driver here. I mean, he's been out here for a while, hasn't knocked down or even hit that golf ball once, so that is a hard feat to do. Yeah, single fin.
We're now coming up on a stately white home up on the hill. It's been known as Fairlawn since it was originally built back in 1875 by the late Mr. Charles Wacker. You might recognize Mr. Wacker as the president of the Chicago Planning and Commission, and he really reorganized the redevelopment of the Chicagoland area after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Some of his plans include Outer Drive, the Shed Aquarium, and of course the Double Layer Road, named in his honor, Lower Wacker Drive. Just beyond that, you'll see an elegant Spanish-style villa that's known as Casa Del Sueno, which translates to Dream House. For many years, that was owned by members of the Stark family. They founded the Stark Piano Company. Later owners were owners of the TV drama producers. That was Mr. and Mrs. William Bell, who produced The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. Some people have asked if it was ever the Wrigley Mansion, but as you can recall over on the North Shore, Sid and I pointed out the about mile of shoreline the Wrigley family owns. It was never owned by the Wrigley family. Other people have asked if it was ever the Playboy Club. That wasn't the site of the Playboy Club, although there was one over on Highway 50 that was been renamed to Grand Geneva Resort. Some people have thought that it was ever owned by Michael Jordan or Oprah Winfrey. Fortunately, they haven't. But one of the most unique kind of rumors I've heard was that it was the original hideout for Mr. Al Capone. But unfortunately, although it would have been a cool story, I don't think that he probably would want to hide out in the lake's largest single-family home. This was originally built back in 1899 by a man named Mr. Otto Young, who originally came to America from Germany. Now, that travel had a lot of fees, and he was eventually actually virtually penniless when he came to America. He lived in New York for many years when he started making a living selling costume jewelry off of a pushcart in the streets of New York until he was able to amass enough wealth to move over to Chicago. That was a turning point in his life because soon after he moved was the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Now, after that fire, a lot of realtor investors and investment advisors all thought that Chicago would never rebuild. They thought that it would all relocate over to where Gary, Indiana is today, so then they actually deemed all of the Chicagoland areas basically useless. Nobody wanted to purchase it anymore. But Mr. Otto Young wisely thought otherwise. He thought that Chicago was going to rebuild, so he swooped in and purchased just about 85% of what is now known as the Chicago Loop for minuscule a price. Now, when Chicago actually did start to rebuild, a lot of those original landowners came back to Mr. Otto Young. They wanted to purchase the land back so they could reestablish their original buildings. He was very generous in selling all of the land back to them at oftentimes 200 times of what he originally purchased it for. So he wasn't very popular then after that in the Chicagoland area, but he's very wealthy. Conservative estimate of his wealth at the time of his death in 1906 was set at over $25 million, which is astronomical back then.
That will wrap up our Mailboat tour. We hope you enjoyed it. Our next video will show you the Grand Geneva Resort, which was the first Playboy Club resort outside of Chicago. That's what AJ just mentioned. Hugh Hefner was a man of many interests, many of them under the age of 21. but he also loved beautiful Frank Lloyd Wright inspired architecture.
This is the Grand Geneva Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. These are the riding stables up ahead of us. To be the old Playboy Club in Lake Geneva.
We really enjoyed the U.S. Mailboat tour here in Lake Geneva. It's believed to be the only tour boat in the United States to deliver the U.S. mail. It's been doing it for 105 years. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining us. If you liked it, please hit that like button. Leave us a comment down below to let us know what you think, and subscribe to our channel to join us in our future travels. Thank you so much.